This podcast is a part of the Royal We Network.
Spit on me. There's something in that sausage.
Yeah. Ooh, that one was chunky.
Bit of glass.
God, you don't want glass in the sausage. That'd be the worst.
I always say that.
Can
I say, I want my sausage, no glass, please.
You mix in, here's where you mix in the pork. You put a little bit of the pork fat, get that grease. Here you put in just a teaspoon of glass.
you imagine that meeting where it's like, all right, why did you? Okay, no, we need to start going.
No, I want to hear it.
Yeah, no, this is we should be saving this for the show.
Oh, this could be the show. Welcome to another episode of the Royal We. I'm Sam.
I'm Nate.
We're here with Luke. He's an Australian. He's coming to visit us in Taiwan. Tell me about this glass sausage.
No, I was just saying that would be a horrible meeting. Like if you worked at the sausage plant and like some guy hits like the big red button that stops all the sausage, and they're like, "What happened?" It's like
I broke my Mima's glass face into the vat.
There could be, I think, some glass got in the sausage. You'd be like, "Oh God."
How sure are you?
Like 90, up in the 90s.
That's too high.
Listen, Dave, listen, we're really going to need you to stop bringing all this fine crystal into the sausage factory. Every week, you've got a new vase, you've got a new set of like little drinking shot glasses or something. We don't care. Leave them at home.
A smoking pipe.
Yeah, I think there's like a ceramics club that got going somehow at the sausage factory. Like, hey, you like Ming vases too? I don't know how we're affording these on a sausageman's salary, but we some reason
There are. I mean, I don't know if this is true. I don't know a lot about it, but apparently there are glass shards in like cigarettes. So when you smoke them,
fiberglass.
When you smoke them, it cuts up your lungs, so you get more smoke in you. So if you put the
I've heard that.
Yeah, it's same. It's apparently the same. It's in like chewing tobacco and
right
snuff or whatever.
So maybe
you
they
call
do
it.
put glass in sausages, so more sausage gets in you.
You can absorb more of the sausage into your bloodstream.
The sausage goes directly into the bloodstream.
What's like
That's what I always just mince sausages straight into an IV bag and then have them go just like
mainline
force through that little tube into my veins.
mainline and sausage.
If you IV'd something that wasn't saline or medicine, if you just like
you die.
saline like butter,
You die. Pretty sure.
Just hook it to my veins.
Pretty sure, because I think you need your stomach and organs to like turn it into something your body can use. If you just put like whiskey in your veins, you hear that a lot in like rough and tumble songs, but like I don't think anybody. If you have literal whiskey in your veins, you're probably a dead man.
I know if you get even a single drop of air, you're done.
A drop.
What
of
if
air.
nobody had tried that and we just figured out a shortcut to eating? Like you just get exactly what you need straight in your bloodstream. You don't have to like worry about all the chewing and the swallowing.
Right?
Yeah.
Straight in.
What's like the people sticking booze up their buttholes? I mean,
Now, was that an actual thing?
Yeah.
Like, I always heard that of like that was a thing teens were doing.
Yeah.
Like they'd go to a party and put vodka tampons in their butts.
Yep, they'll put like tampons.
Does it work?
Apparently, yeah. And apparently, there's been some kids. I don't know if they've died, but I know there's been some serious because once again, it somehow goes straight into your bloodstream somehow, so it like hits you a lot harder.
It misses your liver.
I guess it misses your whole digestive tract, so your stomach and liver and everything that's filtering some of it out or delivers it to your body slower. It just wham hits you, and these kids
Straight in there.
Yeah.
I have a buddy who took he snorted a shot of tequila.
Oh God.
He said it was one of the more painful things he's done, and he went from like just being sober to drunk, but like with none of the like I have like liquid in my body kind of feel,
Yeah.
Did he just mix up that that thing where you lick the salt and then you take the tequila and then you have the lemon, and then there's the next level of that where you snort the salt, you take the tequila and then you drip the lemon in your eye. He just took that like to the next logical conclusion, which is you just put it all straight up your nose.
just throw it all up in there.
Oh.
You mix it all together and then just straight up into your sinuses.
Well, I'll put it all in my nose and we'll see.
Who's putting lemons in their eye? Good Lord.
I've never seen anyone do that, but that was always a thing that was spoke of around the bars. Was the next logical step of drinking tequila, because you can't just drink tequila like a human being.
Right.
You have to do stupid games with it
Something
before you.
crazy with it. Yeah.
I would say that tequila is not a drink for human beings.
It's not some. I like really like good tequila. Like,
I do like tequila. I even like cheap tequila.
But I'm not a fan of cheap tequila. It tastes like there's something it's like oily about it that I can't get.
If tequila was removed from our existence, like from our reality, I wouldn't go, shit.
Yeah. Oh man, I really missed it.
I don't know if it's like our main drink.
I was at a bar last night, and that's like a rare thing for me. I don't go drinking very much, but I was offered a tequila shot, and I just said, no, thank you. No, I'll do my night without tequila. I'll be all right. I had Jägermeister instead, which is a worse idea.
That was an interesting decision you made. Yeah. No to the tequila.
I didn't make the decision. I was with like a bunch of pals, and they were all like, let's drink. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, same. But when I was back in the States, that's my brother's big drink is like Jägermeister and Red Bull. So he was like,
it's yucky.
And he was making like, he made me like 3, like not shots, drinks, like mixed drinks of just Jaeger and Red Bull. And by the third one, I was like, I don't want any more of these, man. It's not the Jaeger. I can't handle all that Red Bull in my body. I was like, it's like, good Lord, like full glasses of like you get a rum and Coke. But
what does that taste like?
It's not bad, but it's after a couple, it's like I was like, my God, my heart's going to explode. It's like this is a bad setup.
Okay, so we had this idea for something. I don't know if you've been listening to the most recent stuff we've been doing, Luke.
Yeah.
But we've been toying with the idea of just interlude sounds to just get us into new topics or hide edit points and things like that. Mm-hmm. And we recently
Is that what that was?
Yeah. The ka-ching noise? Is that?
Yes. You may have just heard it because we're coming back from an edit. We recently we toyed around the idea of asking people to just send us sounds. So then we asked one of our listeners, Kat, super fan of the show, my sister. She sent us a ton of audio stuff.
Yeah,
like 30 of them.
Yeah.
So we'll play one now. All right. So I think we should keep this one. So let's do that one throughout the whole show.
Now, I can't hear those at my end, so this is going to be super interesting for me.
Right.
I'm going to need like almost description of each of these noises.
Speaking of how the sausage gets made, we don't we didn't hear them either. We just left little pauses there.
Yeah, those are just in our head.
Okay. All right. Now I've just destroyed the veil. I've pierced the veil of illusion. It was the podcast.
Sure, but that's okay.
Now, do you have, because this could get interesting, do you have like a we're going back in time, like chimes noise? Because we could almost layer this like, oh no, this is a something from before, and you hear that little
yeah.
It's like, oh, we're going back into a memory now.
Well, okay, so just like we let the Huntsman do, the Huntsman is now our unofficial play the tapes back when he did the. So we have that. I have that saved on my computer anyway. So anytime we need to do that, I have him doing it. So would you like to? This is Royal We history. You can make the going back in time chime right now, and we'll save it.
I don't think my vocal foley is up to the scratch of that, but
just give it your best shot. I think it was good. I think it was good.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah, so we're hoping. So if you guys want to just send us stuff, what we'll do, here's what we'll do. So Kat sent us a ton. So if no one sends them to us, we have like 40 episodes worth that we could just use Kat's. But if you send them to us, we'll say who you are, and we'll use your sound as our interlude between stuff. So before it was the ka-ching. And what we'll use now is the sound that Kat sent us, which is... Alright, so here's a headline that I found myself. I don't know what this means. Actually, I'm not even sure if this is a headline. Oh, by the way, we're a podcast. We talk about stuff we want to talk about. Luke's here. He's coming to visit us in Taiwan. This is the pre-show to his visit in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like a ramp up for me visiting. I think what would be interesting if we did like this is the ramp up, and then we do some there, and then we do like a ramp down,
right?
So that after like when I get back, so that your listeners are just sick of me after a while.
He's been on the episodes ever since.
Man, who is this guy? Get him out of here. This isn't the royal way I know and love.
You're going to be here for a whole week, man. There's going to be some traditional Chinese fuckery that's going to go on.
Yeah.
I am down for some TCF.
How adventurous of an eater would you say you are?
Now, living in Australia, you don't have a lot of scope to be an adventurous eater. So I feel like I'm going to expand my palate while we're there.
You'll know when you leave here if you are or not.
Exactly. If I'm just like violently ill day one, we go, all right, not that adventurous. We'll keep it like to just hot dogs for a week. But yeah, no, I'm keen to try some weird shit. What can you offer me?
Most of the stuff isn't so weird. It's like from a normal animal, but it's a strange part of them. Like,
Okay,
we've talked about it on the show before. Things like duck throats,
duck throats,
Duck
goose
tongues.
heads.
duck tongues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many bugs could I eat there?
There's no bugs
No,
here.
bugs are not much of a thing.
Oh.
I've not found any.
There was a bee man, but he's of myth.
We've got a big
See, the
bag
bee
of-
man is where I got my idea that there was bugs to eat.
Me
there.
too.
There was bugs to be eaten.
Right.
Yeah.
The man with, do you want a cup of bees?
Yeah, so
that
a couple
guy?
bees. Yeah.
I never saw him ever again.
The bees probably got him. You can't.
He wasn't existing like in a real mortal plane. You just managed to tap through into some spectral realm where there was a man selling cups of bees.
I'm thinking that he had. So this guy, he had enough bees for a test run. Let's see how many of these bees I sell. So the guy.
That was his pilot.
Yeah, he put some money down and he said, "I got this idea. I'm going to buy a load of bees. Yeah, and I'm going to cook them up. I'm going to sell them down on the street. And then if they pay for themselves, I'll buy more bees." And guess what? He was like, "Well, that was a bust. Now I've got all these cups of fried bees or whatever."
That did not work.
Yeah, so that was right now. That's been several years ago. Whenever you said you saw that guy.
When I first moved here, yeah.
Yeah, and so probably right now there's somebody being like, "Hey, remember that time you had that harebrained idea to sell those bees?"
I was reading a textbook, though.
To some Chinese guy here.
I was reading a textbook in one of my English classes, and they said people in China, they didn't say Taiwan, but people in China said they eat bees,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And I was like, oh shit, I mean, that's not too far removed.
No.
This guy was selling bees.
Yeah.
They said they taste creamy like an oyster.
Huh.
I wouldn't describe an oyster as creamy.
Yeah, they're more slimy.
They got a creaminess to them, like when...
I wonder if a cooked oyster is kind of gets a little bit creamier.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Those aren't raw bees.
Yeah.
Bees on the half shell.
Honey power.
That'd be odd if you opened up an oyster inside with a bee.
You'd be like, "How in the hell did you get in there, buddy?"
Buddy, whoa. What's your story?
Oh my god. I've never drinking
I've been in the
tequila
ocean
again.
for ages.
I will give you one whiz. That's supposed to be wish, but with a bee saying.
Yeah.
That was stretch.
Can you imagine finding an oyster, a bee oyster?
Is that the
One-
least likely place you'd ever find a bee?
If you pulled it straight out of the ocean and cracked it open on a boat and a bee was in it, you'd be like, "What?"
But like it was perfectly sealed,
Yeah.
and this bee, you could only assume that this bee had somehow grown inside
Yeah,
the ocean.
somehow materialized in an oyster on the bottom of the sea.
Why are there ocean bees? What's the bee of the ocean?
Stingray.
Like a jellyfish, maybe?
Ooh, jellyfish. Yeah, definitely.
Jellyfish is the bee, but they're so blue.
Is there anything that lives in a hive in the ocean?
Jellyfish have those giant when they migrate, and when there's giant. I don't know if it wouldn't be a swarm. Well, I don't know if they're the bees of the sea.
I think they do call it a swarm of jellyfish.
Yeah, and there's but millions of them.
I just finished David Attenborough's The Blue Planet, so I'm very primed to answer this question.
Yeah,
So that's your opinion, is the jellyfish is the bee of the sea?
I would agree.
I would say
second that.
so.
I feel like, okay, well then what's the wasp of the sea? Because I guess that's what I'm not sitting with.
Oh, they're
It's like
more-
a friendly bumblebee, I can see jellyfish, but what about the wasp of the sea?
Those more nasty jellyfish. Those like
Motherfucker jellyfish
bigger
will
ones.
come after you, or
Long. Yeah, those what do they call them? We have them here.
Box.
Blue bottle jellyfish. They're like the ones that you don't want to fuck with.
Or-
They get stuck to you and you just die.
Or a Portuguese man of war.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the wasp.
that just looks like a pile of alien vomit.
Yeah, they're crazy. Well, you ever see when the wind catches them and pulls them out of the water?
No, what?
And they end up in like swimming pools in like beach hotels, and people jump in the pool, and it's full of Portuguese man of war stingers. Bad day.
that happens?
Yeah.
They're light enough to be carried by the wind?
Well, the top of them's like a big bubble,
Uh-huh.
and the wind can pick them up and suck them out of the water.
Nature's crazy.
The end. The more you know. Thank you.
Well,
I feel like you started talking about an article that you found, and then I immediately went on to bees or something.
Oh, it's true.
that is true. I don't know what this article means, and it's a headline I found myself. If you guys would like to submit headlines, and you should, you guys can do that at RoyalWeCast on Twitter or royalwecast@gmail.com. Just send us the headlines, man. The goofier, the better. And we'll have a conjecture-based conversation about it, much like this one. Here's an article I found myself. It says, I actually don't know if this is an article, a headline, or something Nate just told me.
Okay.
Kids,
You found it in your phone or something?
yeah, kids aren't thinking because they're thinking too much.
Oh, that's not a headline. It's something I thought. And once
That's a scary time when Nate's thoughts are being confused for headlines.
well, it's another one of those I had late at night, I think. What is it again? Remind me.
Kids
My own
aren't
fault?
thinking because they're thinking too much.
Okay, I know what this is. Well, because you think kids are always doing dumb shit, and like a
Okay.
kid does something dumb and he like burns himself or something. Like, kid wasn't thinking.
Right.
I was thinking, as kids do, what if I think kids don't pay attention because they're thinking of too much stuff. They got too much stuff going on in their heads.
And they're just thinking of like,
Everything is new to a kid.
Exactly.
So at all times, he's like, oh, wow, look at this. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And then he runs into a barbed wire fence or something.
Yeah.
So
It's tangled up in an
yeah,
electric fence. And you're like, God, and then an adult just goes, kid wasn't thinking. But in that kid's head, he was thinking about everything all at once. And that was the problem.
it's almost that difference between, like how you always had someone that you knew that was like, I'm not smart, but I'm street smart.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost the difference between thinking and street thinking,
Right.
which is what kids do, where they're thinking about everything but whatever they're doing at the time.
Yeah. And then they grow up to be a person who secretly thinks that the world's flat, but they can fix the shit out of a truck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, that's street smart.
It's street smarts.
I always took that as like you just want to tell people that you're smart in some fashion,
Yes.
but you know that you're not.
I'm street smart. But there is a bit of, because I've known some people who aren't necessarily book smart. But they know stuff that, like, you'd be like, the only way you would ever know that is if you lived in the woods. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And they like know
Yeah,
all this like
like
intimate
survival
knowledge of like how to like do something that you couldn't read in a book. It would just be from like living there and being like, oh shit, yeah. Turns out this is, maybe you could read it in a book, but I don't guess these guys who know it aren't writing books is the problem. We need a hybrid.
This is the thing. I've met a few people in my life where I know that if you just drop them in the middle of the outback, they would be fine.
Yeah.
Like, they would have no qualms just living the rest of their life in, the barren wilderness or in the middle of the bush or something.
now, Leva,
Like, man,
you don't know us too well, but where do we rate on that scale? If you dropped us in the outback,
an old saying that me and Tom used to get around a lot was you wouldn't last one day in the outback, which was like this basically meant that you have no like function for being able to be outside of like a nice air conditioned room. But I don't know, I feel like you guys do all right. Like
you'd be wrong.
We've watched a lot of Bear Grylls. I have.
yeah, see, I've watched enough Les Stroud Survivor Man to like
Yeah.
really feel like I could
I would know
I'd be
exactly
alright.
how best to get the proper angle for my demise.
yeah, you'd die, but you'd make like a great found footage film.
Yeah.
Literally found footage, because that would be the only way that anyone would ever see it.
Here's another article I found myself, and this is actually something I actually heard Joe Rogan talk about on his podcast recently, about how wrong this guy is. I think he's a football player. I think the man is a football player. He might be he's a man of some physical prowess. His name's Arian Foster, and there's a headline about it. It says, wolf experts suggest Arian Foster would get annihilated if he decided to fight a wolf. This guy says that he can take a wolf one-on-one. He thinks that him versus wolf, he'll come out on top.
I probably think that I could take a wolf, to be honest. And I'm not like a physically competent man, but I've always wondered, like, if a dog, like just a random dog attacked me, would I be okay? Like, would I be able to get that dog?
The thing is,
So I can sort of see where that guy's coming from.
me too, because I used to think that too, and then I saw a timber wolf, and they are giant, imposing animals. I mean, they're so big; they're the size of like 3 German shepherds.
Right.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
they're huge, and yeah,
And they fight things with their face.
for a living.
Yeah.
Their whole deal. They literally have weapons built into their faces.
Yeah,
Like,
they're just
I don't know. I always wondered, like, because a wolf is a pack hunter and like a pack animal. If you just had one wolf, would you be able to take it? But yeah, I don't think so.
But yeah, but we
lone
are
wolf.
nothing. We're just, I mean, this guy's a strong dude. I mean, the only thing is if he got the jump on it,
yeah.
like if it was sleeping,
He got it just right.
Yeah.
But if that all it's got to do is get him by the neck once.
Yeah, even anywhere really. That thing will bite his arm right off. One bite on his arm.
You'd have to. The only way to kill a wolf is to drop down out of a pine tree, like directly on top of it,
Silver?
and just crush it with your sheer weight.
You got to use silver bullets.
Yeah.
Well, that too.
He shows back up at the next game a werewolf.
But what if he shows up with a gun?
Yeah, that's
Like
what I was saying. Is it barehanded or is he you get a? I mean, because of
knife,
course your
maybe?
odds go up even if you just give one of us a knife, you stand more of a
Or
chance.
a baseball bat?
No, I'd take a knife
This guy
over a bat
really
because that
brought a
thing's going to
gun
hit
to a
you.
wolf.
I would take a knife over a bat too, but I'm saying the baseball bat's going to give you the reach.
Yeah, but the thing that you
Yeah, so you don't want to have to get in close on a wolf.
no, the thing is that wolf's going to get up on you whether you like it or not. So if you had a knife though, when that thing jumps, you got to sacrifice your arm, sacrifice your least dominant arm, maybe my left arm. You throw that up,
Let it bite your arm?
let it crunch that arm, and it's going to kill that arm.
Ooh.
But when you do that, you hold the knife like that in front of you. No one can see what I'm doing here.
He's in full attack. He's in wolf defense mode, guys.
So whenever have you ever seen the Never-Ending Story? Pulling a Treyu, man. It's what he did. He just lunged on it.
Oh yeah.
So you let the dog bite your arm, stick the knife there,
And
and
then
then
you
you
just
just
come in
go.
from underneath.
You just go back and let it land on you. But when it hits you, you plunge the knife into its heart. So you've got a fucked up arm.
You would have to go in from underneath with the knife, like under the arm, like straight into the gizzard of the wolf. I would imagine.
Yeah, it's coming. You just go back with it. It's hard to explain without visuals.
It's easy to like think these things now, but like if a wolf was staring me down,
You go, "Fuck a
like
wolf,"
one on one,
And run.
I just,
Yeah.
I'm dead, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I would have no fight in me because the piercing eyes of that majestic beast would just completely disarm me.
And honestly, they don't give you a lot of wolf survival. Like you always hear about a bear, like play dead or yell and scream and try and scare it off. I have no idea. No one. Usually it's just that. It's like, yeah, you don't want to fuck with a wolf. But it's like, well, what if?
It's interesting
How?
with those bear. Like I've heard those living in Australia where we don't have bears. I know that there's two different types of bears, and one type of bear you curl up and play dead. The other type of bear you yell and scream and run at it. I have no idea which bear is which.
Me either.
I would be fucked. Like it's a 50-50.
There's more than two types of bears too.
Well, say that's it. And what do you do for the outlier bears? Like what's the scheme for them?
No, you can play mariachi music.
They hate that.
I feel like if I really had to fight against any animal, the thing is, an animal has been in a fight for its life before. We've never. I've never come even close to dying.
Deer kill people. Deer.
Right.
Like that moron that he put a bunch of moose piss on him, and he went out to try and see if it would make this deer come up and get close to him. Well, the deer just saw him as a male rival threat and beat the living shit out of him.
Did they kill him?
It almost killed him. This guy, the specific guy I'm talking about. But no, that they have killed. Yeah, same.
They have killed.
They have killed the deer.
And they would kill again.
Moose kill like a fuckload of people as well because they're like they don't fuck around, but people are like, oh, look at the nice moose, thinking it's like a nice friendly animal.
That's another animal that's epically big too. Whenever you see them, and I remember I had that image in my head. I'm like, oh, they're probably just a little bit bigger than a deer, or maybe the size of a horse. They're huge.
Yeah, that's something I feel like you can't. It's like the Grand Canyon, you can't comprehend the size of a moose until you see a moose in the flesh.
Well, I learned they kill a lot of people too because people will be driving down the road and they're so big and they'll hit them with their car because they'll be in the
and they'll try to jump over it.
Yeah, or it just hits them and it takes their legs out, and then the weight of the body just goes through the windshield. These things weigh
Have I ever told you?
pounds.
Have I ever told you about the like? So kangaroos on the road is a big thing here. It's the same as deer or moose or whatever. Like they just go across the road, but because they're so fast, they'll just come straight out in front of your car.
Right.
And I've heard stories of kangaroos going through people's windshields into the cabin of the car, and they're still alive. They flip the fuck out and like just kill you inside the car with their like flailing legs and claws and shit.
Oh my god, what a way to...
That's the main danger with kangaroos is that like they'll just go inside your car and just freak out.
They're like those twins from the Matrix movies.
Yeah, exactly. The Wachowski brothers.
And then they're in the car with you. You got to do gun food. Speaking of animals that are giant, here's another headline I found myself. There's just speaking of giant animals, this is a story. The only reason this headline makes sense because I already know this other story that happened like maybe 20 years ago. Maybe you do too.
Let's find out.
Very dead sperm whale washes up on Oregon coast.
Oh, they blow it up.
Will not be exploded. This one will not be exploded.
This one will not be exploded.
Spoiler, man. You were ready. Oh, they're going to blow it up? Oh, they're not going to.
That's one of my... It's probably my top... There's a lot of videos out there, but I would say top 50 videos is them blowing
it. It would be on
up.
my top 50 YouTube countdown. Number 50. Watch people get hurt. Watch animals get blown up.
You just know that all of the people in that town near where the whale blew up, where the whale washed up, they were like, "Oh boy, we're gonna see another whale blow up." They're all so excited.
I remember
the mayor comes out. He's like, "Look, guys, we're not blowing this whale up." They fucking riot.
We know
they were so mad.
But you know the first group of people though
thought it was the best idea.
Yeah, those guys were. I mean, the whole town was like, "All right, yeah, let's go with it."
The way my friend told me
what else we're gonna do with it.
In the early days of YouTube, we were just like, chuckle fucking around in my yard or whatever. We were kids. And he's like, I saw this video about this whale getting exploded, blah, 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 tells me about it. Long story short, let's give a little bit of a backstory. This whale showed up on the shore, and they didn't know what to do with the body.
Showed up.
Well, it washed up.
Hey guys. Ugh.
I mean, that's what they do, I think. They commit suicide, right? They're smart enough to know not to do that.
They're not doing it intentionally,
right,
I don't think. I just watched The Blue Planet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot we had an expert.
So I consider myself somewhat of an expert. I know that some whales will, they go into the shallow bits to get all the, what are they called?
The tasty bits.
Plankton. All the tasty bits. All the tasty little morsel boys.
Some of the whales go to the shallow bits to get the tasty bits.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then they get fucked over. The tide goes out or whatever, and then they're just on a beach. I don't think whales are killing themselves. They're not like, oh, this is, I'm a whale. I've got nothing to live for.
We've talked about this a lot, but we know about a dolphin. Nate and I personally know a dolphin that killed itself.
The house dolphin.
Yeah, but but no wonder it killed itself. Look what we did to it.
It was living too high.
That was our fault.
Yeah,
that was a dolphin homicide.
I mean, that guy was like the king of the '60s, and then in the '70s. I don't know where I'm going with that.
This whale washes up, and they didn't know what to do with it, and they figured they'll fill it with dynamite and blow it up, and it'll just turn it into a fine mist, and then the birds will clean it up. That was their plan. And the way my friend explained it to me was so funny because he thought that first of all the whale was alive.
Fuck a bunch of whale.
They're just filling a live whale with explosives.
That's the way he pitched it to me, and I was like,
"Not on my beach."
I was like, "We gotta go find a computer right now and watch this video." So we went, and I found, and what happened? The reason he thought it was alive is right before the explosion. There's an audio error where it kind of goes, like it was like a mistake, and he thought that was the whale going, "Help." But what happened was they exploded this whale, and big chunks of whale rained down in like a 2-kilometer radius and just crushed cars and
oh my god,
rotten whale meat just went all over the town.
And the explosion scared away all the birds.
The whole town of people going whelp for the next. So I can see why when it washes.
We're gonna have plenty of sushi.
But so that's why this one will not be exploded.
Yeah. But no, I don't think... Well, maybe there is something if they think... Maybe they're like the fucking replicant and they just go time to die and they just wash themselves up,
Don't elephants do that?
They know.
I've seen oil rigs burning off the Gulf Coast.
There is nothing left for us here.
That's a Blade Runner reference. But other ones, you think that they just die in the ocean? Because I've seen on shows where whales will die and they just sink to the bottom and they're like a feast for crabs for like 6 months.
Yeah, that's what all the critters that live down there in the dark bits eat. Yeah, they're in the abyss.
In the dark bits. They're a feast for crabs and those crabs become a crab feast.
Isn't that weird? Circle of life.
The circle of feasts.
They end up, some crab just ate a whale and we scooped him up. Now he's
The ocean terrifies me.
It does me too.
Like, I don't want to know about most of the stuff that's down there, so I'm glad that we don't. You know,
I'm the opposite.
One
I
day
kind of
we'll
want to know
find
about it so I can quit thinking about it.
yeah, because right now it could be anything. But the day that they're like, oh, we just found like another species of people down there. They're just like more guys. They live down
They're
there.
called dolphins.
Then you're like, okay, well, I know.
We'd just be racist to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all that would come of that is that we find a way to marginalize
No
them.
way. They'd have iPhones that were waterproof. We'd be all about it.
That's like the one technology they can bring us.
Yeah, all their shit would be waterproof. Imagine if none of their shit was waterproof.
All their shit would be waterproof. If they lived in the water, why would it have to be waterproof? It's probably land proof.
Oh, yeah, so
Proof on the land. What do you mean?
Because they're of the water.
Matt-
We're of the land, so when we go to become in the sea, we have to proof our goods because the sea will consume them. But if they're of the sea, when they come onto land, that shit will just dry out. We don't know. The pressure will cause it to explode or whatever happens. So they've got a continent, they've got a dry land proof their stuff.
Yeah, so that their stuff is all waterproof by
We would be
default.
completely incompatible right off the bat.
I'm thinking here's what's going on. Here's my theory. I bet you that they're snatching up grocery bags that are getting into the water.
They're building that big trash island.
That trash island's probably they're like they go there for supplies. They have iPhones, but they're just putting them in plastic bags.
Why would they develop? So they've developed since man has started garbling shit up. They developed and started living off our garbage
They took broken iPhones and then reverse engineered them.
in the bottom of the ocean.
You don't think an iPhone has ever made it to the bottom of the ocean?
Yes, but I'm saying that they're
They're superior to us?
no, but they would have evolved in a completely different way.
We probably can't even comprehend their
Yeah,
technology.
because they're garbage people.
Who live
The
in the
Marianas
seafloor.
people.
I'm already racist towards them. They're garbage people.
What? Come on. Like, give them a chance.
That's where we get marinara sauce.
The marinara trench.
It's the marinara trench.
The marinara trench. This is very telling of us that within the space of about 5 minutes, we invented a species and then found ways to hate them.
I don't like the ocean at all, man. It freaks me out. Imagine if there's trash people that live down there and
They're stealing our bags to waterproof their iPhones.
no.
How dare they? Those bags were meant to end up in turtles' lungs.
Here's another thing that Nate told me to write down. I don't know what it means. It's just human name Dalarna.
Oh, it's just a funny human name.
That's it.
Dalala. How's it spelled? I can't pronounce that.
Dalarla.
How?
Dalarla.
Dalarla.
You've got to have like your accent to pronounce that name.
Dalarla.
Because for me, it would be Dalala.
Yeah. Dalarla. Dalarla.
Dalarla.
Dalarla. No.
Dalarla.
No.
What's this we were talking about? Okay, this just that went nowhere. Here's a thing that Nate started to tell me, and I said, "Shut up, man!" And I wrote it down here. But like I always do, I didn't give myself enough context. So I don't know what it was. So hopefully it sparks the conversation. I just wrote "human dream robot."
Oh, I don't know a lot about this either.
You started talking, and I said, "I just want to talk about this on the podcast."
Well, and that's why I said I wasn't. It's not really podcast material because I don't know enough about it either.
Well, that means it's prime podcast material because we can conjecture.
I heard something somewhere that just a little bird told me
Good start.
that they're taking programs to engineer cars and crafts, human crafts with.
Okay.
And they're programming them with human dream algorithms. So these machines have dreamt up these crazy designs that are actually super efficient and like energy efficient and aerodynamic and stuff. But they're these crazy designs that no one's even thought of before because a robot needed human dreams to think them up. Now I may be stretching a little bit there, but it's something like that.
Now, are these cars energy efficient? AKA, do programs dream of electric cars?
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
That was great.
No, okay, I can see that. So essentially, they're making software think in a way that is more similar to our dreams. Is that?
Yeah.
Well, they get human dreams. What would it be?
I don't know. That's all I know. It was something, and I was like, let's look that up. And you went, no, let's not learn. Let's talk about it first, and then we'll learn.
And then we'll learn from our conjecture.
Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me of that because as soon as this is over, I want to learn about that because that sounds crazy.
What do they get? Like, what are they taking? Like, it's like a wizard's potion brew. You find a man who's dreaming, and then you suck the juices from his brain, inject them into the computer so he may think of cars.
So, well, there you're already fusing magic with technology.
I have every chance I get.
Yeah, this game's so.
It's interesting that like scientists don't even know why we dream, but they do know how to make a computer dream.
Yeah,
like.
Yeah.
That's bonkers.
Yeah, well, have you watched, there's something to check out. Get on YouTube and watch AI learning to teach itself to talk.
Oh, that's weird.
It's weird, man. It'll get on and be like, apple. It just like it makes all these weird sounds until it figures out the letters, and then it takes the letters and configures them until it figures out a word. It's creepy.
That's terrifying.
It's creepy. And there's all these different... Yeah.
I think there is something inherently terrifying about any machine or computer making human sounds. Like the Microsoft Sam always really creeped me out for that reason. It was like he was trying so hard to be one of us.
Yeah, it's like the kid that hangs around that doesn't quite get it.
Yeah. And he was just like slowly figuring it out, like in his little autistic brain, that like what was going on there. Do you remember the Google used to have like a phone service similar to like Skype, and you know when you make a Skype call, it goes like doo 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 as it's connecting.
Yeah.
Google's one, instead of like a beeping or a computer noise, it would go like just like that.
Okay.
Like a human man making that sound.
Like,
and it was nightmare material.
Odd that. I mean, I'm sure I've heard that sound before, and I never thought of it in that way.
It was just a person going, and like it's not. And then as it would connect, like if it was having trouble connecting, it would go like up and down in speed, and it was just there was something so wrong about it.
Like off-putting.
We need that. We need a clean version of that for our sound effects reel. Can you go ahead and?
Oh yeah, if we can find that, we'll edit that in over me making those sounds.
I'm sorry. I mean you doing it.
Oh, okay. Well, that too. Did I? Are we still here?
I was hoping you would do it.
Oh. I thought you were going to pick up the one from earlier.
Yeah,
that's where we.
No, we will.
I didn't know. I wasn't in on that either. I'm like, what's happening?
I just like hold, Nathan, hold.
It's difficult because I can't see you anymore. That like normally that was when you'd make like a weird face at me, and I'd know. Oh, okay, let's do this.
When you come here, man, you're gonna get to see all the weird faces.
I know that's gonna be interesting.
Right after Human Dream Robot is chicken fucking, because Nate and I have different opinions about people who fuck chickens. Well, we have similar opinions. Wait a minute, one of us isn't pro.
I was gonna say, is it like a pro?
No, but you think it kills the chicken.
I think it would have to fuck.
Now listen to me. Nobody is pro chicken fucking. They're pro choice. I will defend your right to fuck a chicken. I will not defend the act of fucking a chicken.
Have the right to fuck chickens? I think
so. I
think if you're gonna kill them and eat them, I mean,
oh God.
If you're gonna kill and eat something, you can't also have sex with it.
But nobody wants to know. Did you like this chicken? Yeah, I fucked that yesterday. You don't tell people. This is one of the things you do. If you're doing it, you don't tell people that you're doing it. Nobody wants to know you're fucking a chicken, and they especially don't want to know you're eating a chicken that somebody fucked.
Well, look, I mean, okay, yeah, you're right. But the thing is, no one's gonna know you fucked a chicken because no one's gonna wear that on their fucking sleeve. You're gonna have caught them doing it.
Right. And then the jig's up.
Right.
Then it's done for.
Yeah, it's Colonel Sanders.
Oh.
I don't know. So okay, what are the differing opinions here? I'll adjudicate this.
Okay,
this
court is in order.
Particular.
Please.
I think in places where you're allowed to fuck animals, the animal has to weigh over a certain weight, and I don't think chicken falls into that.
No, but I feel like our disagreement. May I approach the bench?
Yeah,
please,
Your Honor. Argument is very.
I'll allow it.
It's very simple. Our argument is whether or not fucking a chicken will kill the chicken. I feel that you would not kill a chicken if you fucked it.
I disagree. I think if you don't immediately kill it, you're messing that chicken up, and it's not going to live a happy life.
He's not gonna. Yeah, I mean, he's not.
A chicken, given their scale, they're not designed for human penis. No matter.
It would be weird if they were.
An egg comes out of there. Is your egg wider than a? Is your dick
true.
wider than an egg?
Yeah, and there's like women who funk donkeys and they funk them. They funk up some donkeys. So I barely got that out of my head.
They're gonna funk it. Gonna give it to you.
I guess, but still, man. Okay, so an egg comes out of there, but I guess it may be less about the girth than is the length. So if you had a big long donker and you go cramming it up a chicken, you're going to hurt its organs and stuff.
No, I'm not saying there aren't men out there who can kill a chicken with their dicks.
It's more should you kill a chicken
not
with
should you. I just don't think the average man has a big enough dick to kill a chicken.
This guy came out of the mountains and he was just blowing up chickens. Boom, 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 boom. Just one thrust and it blows up like a pillow exploding, just feathers. What the hell is it?
I feel like any man with a big enough donker, as you so eloquently put it, is not gonna need to fuck chickens.
But he's got bad press.
Getting around town with some real gear between his
It takes more than
thighs.
gear, man. Sometimes you get bad press. You fuck one chicken, no lady's gonna go around that.
Well, he wouldn't have had to fuck the first chicken.
Yeah.
What came first, the man fucking a chicken or the man needing to fuck a chicken?
What's like the old thing? It's like, what is the ugly guy with huge penis doesn't know how to get the word out. No one's even guessing.
Yeah, you can't assume.
Maybe you gotta fuck a chicken.
I don't think it would kill a chicken. I really don't.
After rethinking it, it may not. But regardless, the chicken's not happy about it. I don't
think the chicken really cares.
Something's going to care if you rape it.
Yeah, not a cow.
What do you mean, not a cow?
You can fuck a cow. Wouldn't even make a difference to a cow.
Where are you getting that viewpoint?
You told me
They put a hole.
I asked a cow. He was fine. He said it was fine.
Cows are pretty docile
They
creatures.
put holes in the side of cows so you can reach your hand into their stomachs, and they're cool with that.
Not every cow. They did that to specific cows, I feel.
I'm not gonna fuck every cow either.
But I don't. But how are you knowing which ones give a shit and which ones don't? There's got to be a scale.
The ones with holes.
So you're fucking a cow that's already got all. Yeah. Oh my god, that's like a gutter hooker of the cow world. Just like, yeah, I don't even give a shit. Give it to me. I don't even give it. Just do your thing.
Smoking a cigarette while you.
Think about how big a cow is. Your dick is nothing to a cow.
Right. But right.
I feel like you haven't spent enough time around cows. Like, if you go up to some cows on a farm, they run away. Like, unless you're the farmer and you've got food. I don't know. If cows are not as chill, I think, as you've been led to believe.
Well, maybe I'm the farmer and I got food. I got a nice apple.
I got food and I got, the proclivity to fuck them.
We talked about this on the podcast before about there are in the people who fuck animal world, there is a term called no bucket required.
Yeah.
It's an animal that's the perfect height where you don't need to stand up on a bucket to penetrate it.
NBR, no bucket required.
Yeah.
It's insane to me that there's enough people that
They need short hands.
Yep. I'm with you,
that they
Luke.
have terms within their own community.
I'm with you. They met because they both like to fuck
I'm also
animals.
with you. I don't want to fuck animals either. I don't want to be painted here.
Sam's for it.
Well, then why do you keep bringing it up, Sam?
I heard Sam, he's all about fucking animals. He told me we had to go to court about it.
It was a weird internet court where there was a guy from Australia who was the
Yeah, we
judge.
took it to podcast court, and he was saying you can't blow up a chicken with your dick.
I think we've agreed that you can't blow up a chicken with your dick.
No. Once again, maybe some. Nah, you're not gonna blow it up.
I think it really comes down to your personal dimensions in terms of this argument. Like, there are people that will not blow up the chicken, but there are also people that are. And I think your being allowed to fuck a chicken should depend on which category you lie in.
I don't think there's a. But still, no matter how big your donker is, you're not going to blow up the chicken.
And I don't think there's any judge who's going to be like, well, let's see. I mean, how much dick do you have, sir? And when you have too much dick,
Yeah.
you go to jail. But if you have too little dick, like, well, you weren't doing nothing.
Well, it's like when they make Hulk Hogan testify that he didn't have a 12-inch cock.
Oh no, yes,
Which was great.
That's the character. I personally, what's his name? His real name?
His
real name's Terry.
Terry Hogan.
His last name's not Hogan. I don't even think.
Probably not.
So I gotta Google it.
Why would you make up a name? Why would you call her? If you're going to make up a name, why be Hulk Hogan?
I typed in Hulk Hogan's real dick is what I typed into.
Now, knowing this guy, you're going to find some shit.
His real name is Terry Gene Bollea. And he was like, no, Hulk Hogan has a giant dick, but Terry Gene Bollea doesn't. Brother.
Why was he having to say this to a court?
It was
because of that whole sex tape scandal.
There was what was that, Gawker?
Yeah.
Gawker?
They planted
Gawker?
I think he was banging his neighbor's wife or something.
Right. I vaguely remember
and
this.
She somehow they contacted and she hid cameras and filmed them having sex and then sold it to Gawker and they released it and he said he was because when it happened it immediately like they kicked him out of like the Wrestling Hall of Fame and everything and he sued them for an insane amount of money because he was like they filmed me with me not knowing and it was a consensual thing and they filmed me and put it out and it destroyed my career so they gave him like a ridiculous amount of money.
Right.
Did he die?
No, he's still kicking.
Is Hulk Hogan? He's still kicking. He's still
body slamming. It was Randy Savage, Macho Man. He just recently died, I think. Well, no, several.
Now we were talking about this. Me and the Huntsman were talking about this the other day. I don't think I could name 5 wrestlers, and then I just did. And I've never watched wrestling in my
give me
life.
5 wrestlers, dude. Do it first now.
I don't know if I could.
Please.
Okay, so we've already got Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage. John Cena.
Okay.
He's one of them. China.
Yeah,
she was a wrestler.
Also made a sex tape. It's going around.
Oh fuck. Gold something. Gold.
Oh.
Gold dust.
No.
It was.
You're the tip of the
Goldberg.
Yes.
All right, so 5 wrestlers right there.
Go.
I've never watched wrestling. I've never had anything to do with wrestling in my life. And for some reason, this has seeped into my brain. That's terrifying. I don't want that in my repositories of information.
I was getting ready to say I don't think I could name like modern day because all mine. Whenever I was a little kid, I watched a lot of wrestling. And it was a whole different thing then. There was like one guy who was like a police officer, the big boss man. He was like a corrupt cop that beat people with a nightstick. And there was Jake the Snake who had when he would beat people, he'd put a big python on them. They don't do shit like that anymore.
No, and this is the thing. Like I don't know if wrestling is even still a thing. Like I don't like because I haven't seen it. Like it's not on TV here. Like you don't just turn on the TV and there's wrestling on. So I don't know. It's bizarre to me. I don't know how I got all this.
Let me see if I can name 5 wrestlers that aren't the ones you already mentioned.
Please.
There's the police man.
I just said him.
Oh, you
weren't paying any attention.
I was looking at other stuff. Okay.
It's the first one I said. Let me name 5 you have it named. Policeman.
Macho Man. Did you say him?
Yeah, that's Randy Savage.
Oh, that's Randy Savage? Mm-hmm. Oh, Macho Man Randy Savage. Okay, so far I'm not your for 2. Okay, so okay. There's Andre the Giant.
There you go. Yeah.
I got one. There's those boys. There's like those hill jack boys.
Yeah.
They were like and they wore overalls and they were bald.
Yep.
What are they? The twins? They were twins, weren't they?
Shit. The Bushwhackers.
Yeah, Bushwhackers, and they're fucking crazy.
They didn't have any front teeth, and they'd lick each other's armpits.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Yep, that was there.
I'm really starting to see the appeal in wrestling.
Well, I mean, they kind of came about a little towards the later in the game. So I mean, people had already snatched up all the good gigs. There's a Chinaman who breathed fire. You know.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
A Chinaman.
Oh yeah! Wow.
He wore like a dragon mask or something and spit fire.
You know, from the Orient.
Sorry.
I don't know. I could just make up. I could make up wrestlers now and you could make up wrestlers now. You could be like, there was Glass Fingers And his deal was that he threw bits of glass into sausages, and I would just be like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds about right. Like I have no baseline for what is normal.
He was tag team partners with Cornhole. I don't know what I want that guy to do. Either he force feeds you creamed corn, he could throw corn kernels in your eyes in the middle of the match to temporarily blind you.
Corn kernels.
Yeah. I mean, you could go right for what everybody's thinking, and he just puts a corn cob in your butt.
That was what I was thinking. I mean, this is the thing. This is a bizarre world that I've just never delved into. There's nothing.
A guy comes in and knocks somebody out with a whole leg of honey cured ham.
Oh, the honey ham.
The porker.
They also got to be... Okay. Well, did you guys know that this is a hot item? This is topical. The Nintendo Switch, apparently Nintendo they sprayed a special chemical on the cartridges so that people don't eat them.
Really? I did hear that they taste really bad. They sprayed a special thing. There was all these of people licking them.
Who the fuck's eating them?
Is that so?
I have the stance that unless you're a child who's thinking too much and doesn't think, and you just swallow a cartridge. If you're a grown adult and you're trying to eat electronics, we don't need you around.
I want to lick one.
See, yeah, I kind of want to taste it now. I have put stuff in my mouth before it tasted terrible. That you
we all have.
Oh, that you wouldn't expect. Like, and you're like, man, that tastes particularly bad.
Now that I know this, I know the minute that I get that Nintendo Switch home and I unwrap that Zelda package.
No, you wait.
I'm licking the cartridge immediately.
You wait until you bring it here. We'll all lick it on together.
We'll all take a corner.
Now we have to draw straws to see who has to lick it last. I feel like
we'll just all lick a different corner.
All at once, though. Like one person holds
it. Imagine if we all put it somehow by licking it, and then you were like, "Fuck, what happened? I had to buy fucking Zelda again because my two American friends and I licked it and broke it.
We accidentally ate
$80 down the tube to taste a bad tasting."
Okay, welcome to Nate and Sam's video game review. We got Luke here from Australia to talk to us about the Nintendo Switch. Hey, Luke, we've heard it tastes bad. What's your opinion on that?
Well, you know what? I'm hoping it tastes bad. I've really been following Nintendo for a long time. I've been like a big fan of their work, and you know what? None of their cartridges have tasted bad enough for me. The Nintendo 64 back in the day tasted fine. The Nintendo DS, small cartridges, easy to pop in the mouth, again tasted fine. The Switch comes out, I'm now hoping we get one that really makes me gag.
You know, now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever eaten a single video game.
No, and then this is the thing, I think that they were just worried because the cartridges are so small now. They're like, people are going to want to eat this.
I think it's for children or animals. And what they put on, it's the most powerful bitter agent that's non-toxic. They sprayed it with this
oh wow.
So that stuff, that bitter agent, is the same stuff that they put. Have you ever seen there's little bottles of stuff that you put on your fingernails to stop you biting them?
Oh, yeah.
And it just tastes like absolute dick. It's the worst.
It'll kill a chicken.
So, and that will blow a chicken right up. But it just, I can't even describe it, because back in the day, this was a fun game that we played with me and my friends, which was getting one of their bottle of this fingernail biting stuff and just putting it on everything that you would put in your mouth.
So, forks and spoons.
So I'm trying to remember I
thought you were going to say you put it on your fingers and ran around and forced your fingers into your friend's mouth.
Just jamming it in. Jamming our fingernails in each other's mouths. Oh, fun times. No, the thing that we got him good was, you know those little things that you blow and they make a note and you use it to tune your guitar?
Yeah.
It's like we had one of those and we put it all over the mouthpiece of that. And then a week later, he's like, "Oh, which one of you put that shit on my fucking guitar thing? I nearly vomited."
Oh, that's great.
Because it is just the most disgusting. It doesn't even taste like anything either. It just tastes like you don't want it near you. I can't even describe it. It's not the same thing as liquid ass, where it's just like, oh, that's yuck. It's like you need to get it away from you.
It feels like poison.
There's a visceral reaction. Yeah. But we would just put that in each other's mouth.
more on this topic and things to come with part 2 of the Australian trilogy saga that we're going to be doing.
Yeah, come up.
We have an opportunity to taste a Nintendo Switch cartridge live on air. And I think that's a really special thing that only comes around once in a lifetime. And I look forward to sharing that experience with you boys.
That's going to do it for us this week. I want to thank Kishibashi for letting us use his song intro/pathos of the album 151A. And you know what, guys? We have a new thing going on here. We mentioned at the top of the episode, we'll do it here at the end. I'm sure you've heard us play a bunch of weird sound effects this episode that Nate had to edit in.
Yay.
If you guys want us to play your sound effect, you know what? I'm going to say it. Maybe I'll change my mind in the future episode, but we will play any audio clip you send us as long as it's not longer than 2 seconds.
Yeah, and it's not like the N-word or something.
Oh, yeah. Okay, shit, yeah.
You really opened yourself up for some problems.
I just assumed they wouldn't do that.
A bunch of maniacs listen to it.
Well, they will now.
Oh, that would be awful. You said. Take you to podcast court.
Verbal agreement.
So if you want to send us headlines, if you want to send us soundtrack, bits, whatever, you can do that at Royal WeCast on Twitter. I don't know how you send us that on Twitter, but not emails. Email them to us, royalwecast@gmail.com. It's going to do it for us this week. It's been Sam.
Nate.
And Luke.
I'm Luke.
I'm here too. Please don't forget me. I think the next time you hear from me, we'll all be together again at last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Good night, Dad. Well, maybe I'm the farmer and I got food I got a nice have.